ancient Gnosticism has a really complex cosmology involving a really complicated story about how the world came to be the way it is and why they're trying to escape the body. I think that modern people do undervalue the body in certain ways. There's no question that there's that similarity. But I think that the trick, and you sort of mentioned it when you talked about how they don't realize they have dogmas, the trick about secularity or modern dogmas is that they do not confess themselves to be religious. Therefore, their worldview appears obvious to them in the same way that it appears obvious to them that, you know, that the sun is so many miles away from the earth, that because they've been taught it in science class. So they have unexamined dogmas, but the trick is that they are not packaged as religious. Secularism is not packaged as a variant religion or a new religion. Therefore, it's really not quite the same thing as Gnosticism in the New Testament. As a competitor to confessional Christianity is just more honest than modern secularism, because
I love it. Keep going.
It at least tells you that Christianity is wrong. The Old Testament is about a different God than Jesus Christ. It's very forthright in its challenge to confessional Christianity. And then it tells you that there's a better kind of knowledge that you can come into contact with. It's a forthright competitor. It's like Islam. This is why you're wrong. This is why we're right. Modern secularism doesn't tell you that. It tells you that it's going to tolerate you, but it really does not tolerate you unless you go along with it. And there are churches that do that. You know, when I was in the Episcopal Church, one of the big things that we would get in sermons was about both fair housing initiatives and also why the Episcopal Church was lining up with the UN Millennium Development Goals. That was the content of our Christianity, because we sincerely thought that Jesus came to earth in order to reinforce a sort of vague liberalism, both with regard to scripture and with regard to secular politics. They were hanging on to a kind of Christianity that would go along with this secularity that really doesn't want them or need them, but they want and need it. They want and need its validation, especially.